Alex, maintenance, or is there an issue off the trip?
Maintenance. I think he's going to be having some maintenance through the course here. I know we go on a little break and have some. We actually have a stretch, I think, around Christmas where you have a few days off before we play, and actually a luxury of a couple days then before we play again. So that will help. Obviously, we haven't had that time in between games to recover fully, and so he has some nagging issue that probably won't go away until we can give him more rest.
And Jordan probably for later in the week.
Jordan is, I'm not certain about even later in the week. Day to day, it's still a possibility. His progression has been really good all the way till the final component, and that final component, is when we're just waiting for that to resolve, and it could resolve tomorrow. It might not resolve tomorrow, but it impedes him too much to play, unfortunately. So, but it is one of those things that you're just waking up the next day wondering if it resolved.
Had Jack Quinn skating in Alex's spot today. Is there an update on maybe he's going to be ready to go?
He looks ready to go. So now it could be as soon as tomorrow.
How much of a, I don't know how much of a surprise is that?
Well, I mean, the target originally was about this time frame, and then you go through all the progressions that he went through at a pretty good pace, and then the last progression would be real full go physicality, battle, and we actually gave him extra days of that. He got a lot today, which was I don't remember when the last full practice we had, but it's been a while. So today was a real good test for him in a way we weren't able to test him in much in the last month, really. And he was real good with it. So I'll have another conversation with him in medical, and we'll see where we're at. But it's if it's not tomorrow, it's very close.
And you don't have a lot of reservation about needing him to play games in Rochester since he hasn't played in April, or
I might have more reservation with him playing games in Rochester. Yeah. You never, you get a player of this caliber.
Because things are so goofy down there.
There's more chaos down there, and by virtue of the age and the level, and when you go down there and you're, he was a target as a rookie. Who knows? But no, I think he's the type of player that can get himself ready to play right here.
I just wanted to be clear with Alex. Will he play tomorrow? He's going to play tomorrow.
I believe he'll play tomorrow, but that is something we'll answer after morning skate tomorrow, because of the information Paul needed in morning skate. So, as Mike asked, is it Mike? What was the question? You said, was it maintenance? It is maintenance, but we also want to make sure that it's going to go the right direction. So he didn't skate today. We'll give him the chance to see how it feels tomorrow. And as long as it doesn't, we don't feel it's going to go the wrong direction, and you can play through some nagging without, making it worse, he'd play.
As far as Zach goes, we've talked so much about him. One thing that stands out is he's willing to get to the dirty areas. He's willing to pay the price. How much is just his willingness to do that help to develop and help them thrive and so forth?
Yeah, I think that's one component that's been a driver in him, at 18 years old, becoming as skilled in this game as he is, that is a competitive trait. I am going right to where the goals are scored, and I don't care if the guy next to me is 6'5". I'm going there. And so that's a determination, as a characteristic, a very determined guy. And I think that when you see players like that, that's what drives their skill level up, because they're just so competitive and they're so determined to become a better hockey player. I will go fight that guy that's 6 foot whatever, because that's where goals are scored. And then because you do that thousands and thousands of times, obviously your skill level gets better and better over the course. And I think it goes hand in hand with him. I mean, he's a skilled player because he does things like this, because he's done things like that thousands of times. So it's almost innate. It's innate. He goes to those areas not even realizing, that the guy's much, much bigger than him, and he's learned how to deal with it, and he's good at it. Lots of times he comes out with the puck more than he doesn't in those situations, and you see older players in this league get very aggravated at that.
Do you think he likes aggravating opponents? I mean, we saw that under Dumba's skin the other night. I mean, he just said he liked it.
I think he probably. I mean, he give the answer to that obviously, but I think he enjoys. I think it's a signal that he won. He won. He got the puck. He frustrated them. I don't think he's actively trying to frustrate them. I don't think he goes out there and says, hey, I'm going to target and try to frustrate this guy. Like some players do. I'm going to get under the skin of this certain player. He just gets under the skin because he executes. And then when they retaliate, probably brings a smile to his face because he realizes they're retaliating because I beat him. And so I think that's how I see it usually happening. The guys that get frustrated with him, he usually stripped the puck from him or made a play against him or finished a hit on him, and they didn't like it because he's, a young guy.
I don't think I've ever seen an 18-year-old who can protect the puck, like he does, especially at his size.
Yeah.
And he says something he learned at a very young age. But have you seen many 18-year-olds that can do what he does as far as protecting the puck? Maybe on his knees he protects it.
Yeah. Not many. Well, I said it in the very first game of the year. Trouba was frustrated with him, knocked him down pretty hard right by the penalty box. And I mentioned our group that, the difference there with Zach was usually when you knock a guy down, the puck goes somewhere else. He made sure the puck stayed right there. And 2 or 3 or 4 guys had to go in there because he made sure the puck didn't get knocked off his stick when Trouba wanted to. And that was game 1, the first game of his NHL career. And so that is one of many incredible attributes of his ability to protect the puck and determination to protect the puck. He's very strong in his skates, but let's face it, guys like Trouba and other guys are bigger. He moves himself, when the guys thrust him, a lot like Darlene does, he uses that to kind of just his agility and mobility. He taps the puck and they actually helped him get out of there. Where some guys take that hit and they can't push their body out of there. You got to look at it that way. If the guy's too strong for you and he thrusts you, he's going to help move you. Just move the puck with you. And some guys that fight it get knocked over. And so he's highly skilled in those battles. Highly skilled. And no, I haven't seen many 18-year-olds like that. Obviously, I had the good fortune of working at the national team program, so I've seen lots of talented guys, but that's pretty elite.
Don, if I ask you about what is your team's identity, it's clear the answer would be Vegas game, Boston, New York. That's how you're trying to play. You were able to find your identity, obviously on a very consistent basis last year. You've struggled to do that this year. The injuries certainly you mentioned as a factor. What can you do as a staff to harness those games where you play the way you want to play and get them out of your routine more than you do?
I would say our identity, Mike, if you think about last year, our identity was lots of pace and go, go, go. When I think of the Rangers, Boston, and Vegas wins in their buildings, we had an identity of, and the goaltending was good in all of those games. But the support around the goaltending was excellent. We were physical and quick to be physical defensively. So even though Vegas made a play, it was contested, or the Rangers, there were sticks on it. There were multiple bodies in there. There were guys cleared out from the front of the net. That's a newer identity of ours that goes in those games. Now we have to combine it with the identity of the pace and the speed. And we're in the process, I think, of integrating those. You go into those games and you bring the, as I said, you're coaching different this year, and it's going to pull you out of it a little bit because we're in a different situation and we have a different group of guys and where they're at in their careers and what we need to do. And that's being harder to play against specifically in those areas. And in all those games, I think we were. And now it's okay, how do we now do that and then incorporate this kind of high flying stretch pass go. And when you concentrate on one, it takes you a while to then concentrate on both, to integrate both and make both work smoothly. So, I don't know that I'm giving you an answer on, but that's kind of the process that I think we're undergoing. And, signs are we're getting better at it. So we just have to keep pushing those initiatives. We want to play a high tempo game, but we also want to make sure, we're stingy or tougher to play against, have a little more bite, around our net and quicker to close in that fashion in front of our net to the corners.
So are you surprised or disappointed or both that it's taken 30 plus games? How do you think that's gonna go?
Well, I'm not surprised on anything in this league because, so the surprise wouldn't be a good word. Disappointed. There's things you're always disappointed in, and speed of integration is that's your goal as a coach, right? How fast can we, move things and initiate things? So yeah, that you'd love things to be faster, and that's the initiative you have. How can we know where we have to go, I think, and I think we've targeted right, but it's been frustrating that yes, we've stumbled to do that, but I think the challenge is it's not a surprise that you'd be in this. I mean, you're in the NHL. There's an $80 million payroll against you every game. And so when you're putting in these initiatives, yeah, you got guys. I mean, none of us go to work and have to fear getting a concussion or a separated shoulder. We don't have anybody beating the hell out of us to prevent us from doing what we want to do, is I guess probably what I'm saying. So that is a whole nother challenge when you're trying to integrate new stuff. There you have another team that's not complying to anything you want to do. And for us, that's why I turn to compete. We have to elevate compete every night, because if every night you walk out in that building, one of the teams is going to set that level of compete. And if it's not you got to find a way to match it and exceed it then. But every team, the most efficient teams in this league, I would say, and I don't mean to get off topic, I guess I am, but if you think about the best teams in this league, they come in here and they want to win expending as little energy as they possibly can. They play 82 games. It's a marathon. You don't want to run all over the rink and finish all your hits and then get on a plane and go play the next game tomorrow sore. Just win. And the best teams win efficiently without expending a lot of energy. We expend a lot of energy that's kind of unnecessary. And I guess when you're putting new initiatives that you absolutely need, you're going to expend more emotional energy and more physical energy. So we're just not as efficient as I'd like to be in integrating both of those. And it has a toll. It carries over the next night more than it would because we're a little less efficient at it.
Zach said he moved into Darlene's basement. Do you think that's going to be good for him, that Darlene is his landlord?
I'm hoping it's good for Darlene. No, but it's going to be good. It's good for both of them. Those guys are hockey fanatics. I think that both of them, I asked, how their excitement of it, and both of them had the same answer. They get to watch hockey every night together, which is a bonus for us because they'll ask each other questions and scenarios and what it's like. And lots of our talks back there are this is really hard for the forwards. This is really hard on the defenseman if you do that, and vice versa. Defenseman, it's hard on a forward if you actually, posture a puck this way or do something differently. So I'm sure those guys will be better because of that.
How would you characterize what Jack Quinn could add to the line?
Oh, Jack Quinn is a highly intelligent hockey player, and he can add a lot. It just, the faster we can get him up to speed, the better. We've been missing him and what he brings, but he is one of our more intelligent, cerebral hockey players, along with a whole lot of skill, and obviously virtue of his age, and he's in that range of he's just improving by the minute, it seems.
With this type of injury, how much can he be put in with a full workload versus, where he is in his recovery, what he's looked like, what we haven't seen, in terms of easing in versus go get him?
Yeah. First of all, good to see you, Tim. I didn't see you back there, but but yeah, that's a challenge. I mean, and that's a read. I'll be communicating with the training staff. Obviously, you have our medical team and our conditioning guys, and then us as hockey guys. But I will be watching the minutes in response. And he hasn't played in since last whatever it is, 7-8 months ago. So you don't want him to be over fatigued, and how taxing is a shift, how taxing is the first game. But yeah, it's all going to be monitored very closely, I know, by me, and then I'm going to ask a lot of questions to the group I mentioned.